Most people have either been or know somebody who has been in a car accident that has changed their life. Now think, was that person wearing a seatbelt? 10 years ago, a close family friend was ejected from his vehicle after a head-on collision. He was in a coma for several months and is still trying to live a normal life with permanent brain damage because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. And his wife and children had to deal with his short-term memory loss forever. This past spring, my cousin and her daughter were T-boned in a car accident. They rolled several times. Between the two of them, they suffered broken bones, broken jaw bones, broken wrists, and a broken pelvis, and an ear detaching. The two underwent several emergency surgeries and week-long stays in the hospital. They lived because they are wearing their seatbelts. Wearing your seatbelts is the easiest way to save your life. With an increase of motorization in the past couple of decades, it has brought more deaths and more serious injuries to unbelted drivers and passengers. The amount of people injured or killed in car accidents can decrease enormously by the use of a seatbelt. For minimal time and cost, the seatbelt yields huge benefits. Seatbelt laws affect more people than any other type of legislation. Injuries and deaths from car accidents cause a burden worldwide. The fact that seatbelts have saved thousands of lives has become a universal truth, and it is a fact proved thousands of times. Although seatbelt usage in the U.S. has increased to 86% of the population in 2012, it still remains an issue to the group of people who choose not to wear them. The Royal Society for the Prevention of Accidents published a pamphlet in 1981 claiming for belted occupants, the deaths were reduced by 77% in full frontal crashes and 91% in rollovers. From April 2006 to October 2007, a study in the United Arab Emirates was performed on patients in the hospital due to vehicle accidents. Only 17.6% of the patients had on seatbelts. Of the 82.4% of people who were unbelted, more died at the scene than belted passengers, as well as unbelted patients suffered more cervical spine injuries, lower back and lower extremity injuries, more ICU admissions, and more orthopedic surgeries. Along with these injuries came longer hospital stays for the unbelted patients, and they also had a higher likelihood of ejecting from the vehicle. The notion that backseat passengers do not need a seatbelt was also proven false by this study. 99% of the backseat passengers in the United Arab Emirates study were unrestrained, and 15% of those people were ejected from the vehicle. This false sense of security also plays a part in the fact that many people believe that with their new modern vehicles and high safety standards, a seatbelt is not necessary, which was also proven wrong by this study and many others. William Rogers, the Secretary of State of Transportation in Britain, claimed that, on the best available evidence which has never been contested, seatbelts could save up to 1,000 lives a year and 10,000 injuries a year. The innovation of the seatbelt serves to reduce risks and injuries and fatalities. The innovation was a success. A major reason people do not wear their seatbelts or comply with the community laws is pure carelessness or lack of knowledge of the benefits. The seatbelt is used to restrain drivers and passengers to their seat. Without this restraint, the likelihood of being ejected from your vehicle increases significantly, which was claimed by this study by the UAE. Along with not complying with road safety laws, such as speeding, the United Arab Emirates study on vehicle accident patients showed that the unbelted patients were significantly younger than the belted patients. Although evidence proves that younger generations are harder to abide by certain laws, seatbelt regulations do affect every person. Around the world, motorists are obligated to wear seatbelts by different rules and regulations set by their community and state. Because seatbelt laws affect more people than any other type of legislation, it affects every single person on a daily basis. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, it seems that seatbelts usage is higher in states that have primary laws. These are laws that allow officers to cite tickets solely for seatbelt violations and no other rule breaking. There is not any other law that can provide such dramatic savings of lives and severe injuries. The only way to make this difference is the law enforcement and being educated. The public must understand and be aware of the results of an unbelted passenger and driver in order to make a change in their own habits. Whether the law enforces you to wear your seatbelt or you're conscious of living a longer life does, taking those 2 seconds to put your seatbelt on could prove to be life-changing, not only for you, but your friends and family as well. Wearing your seatbelt affects you daily, and so does your life. The studies and statistics have proven that wearing your seatbelt is life-altering, while the time it takes to put your seatbelt on does not seem to be too time-consuming to risk your life. Laws and regulations can do as much as they can to force drivers and passengers to put their seatbelt on, but you are the one who has to take action for yourself. Hopefully, this evidence of the safety hazards of not wearing a seatbelt has made you want to make it a habit to strap your seatbelt on every time you enter a vehicle, because you never know when a life-altering car accident will happen to you. It is one of the easiest ways to save your life.